everyone, welcome to another episode of Talking with Cam. Today we're here to talk about the most anticipated, the most iconic, I think I'm out of adjectives, but the best rumors of immigration.
Yeah!
We have our immigration consultant Vishnu Puthillath with us today to discuss about all the rumors, like giving answers to saying if it's a cap or if it's a fact. Before that, Vishnu, these people are not subscribed to our channel.
Please go fast and do the subscription. If you follow us and you do a comment, that will support us and promote us to do more videos like this.
So Cheta, Anna, bye. One subscribe. Thank you. Alright, let's begin. The first major rumor that's been out right now is that students are not gonna get their work permit from now on. Is it a cap or is it a fact?
Everyone knows that it's a cap, but still there are rumors going on that the new regulation change which happened like last year and this year too, and the election is gonna come. So there are many bills are going on, many speculations are going on which come to a result that okay, there will be no post-graduate work permit. But let me tell you how this started. So you might have known that we did a previous video also on it, when the private institutes and the public-private institutes, the government put a ban on them that okay, from the September onwards, those who are studying there, they will not get a work permit. Somehow this particular news came out in other way, where now most of the individuals, even from India, Pakistan, from Sri Lanka, I'm getting a lot of calls that parents believe that this is not just the private and public, like a private public institutes, even the publicly funded colleges are also not getting a postgrad open work permit. Many agents, many immigration firms which support other countries, they're trying to use this half-cooked news to convince them that no, Canada is not a good destination, let's move to other country. And that's how this is getting a lot of support, a lot of, like in social media also I can see a lot of comments on this. But guys, anyone who study in publicly funded college, for example, Seneca, Conestoga College, Fanshawe College, again, the particular campus, everyone will get, if study for 1 year work permit. If you study for 2 years, you will get 3 years of work permit. And if someone studies in university for masters, definitely you will be rewarded with a 3 years of work permit.
All right, perfect. So Vishnu, just a question: where does all these rumors initially originate from? Like out of the blue, get a whole news about like there's no more work permit extensions for students.
So this is the era of social media. People know that okay, if there is a negative news, that will get more clicks, that will be sent to someone who are in that situation. Because now, unfortunately to say, this generation is there where even your best friend may not like you to be happy. So there is very few people who are your real friends, your family member, who really want to give you right information so that you will be on top of everything, you will get a success. Sorry to say, but the news, the social media, that promote more negative news than the positive news. One of the common psychology which I see is, if something we post positive, people say that, yeah, I know that. But as soon as someone posts something negative, and there is no proper credential, now people started to believe it because now they will say, oh, I don't know this, maybe this is true. But I tell every parents, every international student, every immigrant, you wanted to trust something in social media, look into the background credentials, do some of your own research, reach a proper authority to get a right information, which can promote more positive news and good news rather than circulating the negative news, which is very prominent at this point in social media.
And do you think can support clickbaits or like giving a false news just for attention?
Oh, never. Trust me, with God's grace, we have a very strong support CAN family with us. Our appointments are getting booked for next month at this point. Touch wood. That's because of the love and the trust what the CAN family, each and every CAN member who know us, who took a service, they know that how dedicated we are. And definitely, whatever news is coming to you guys, even if I'm not convinced with that, I'm definitely not going to put on social media, because again, I came like an international student. So I understand how important, how valuable it is when someone is giving you genuine advice. And that's how, being a nurse, registered nurse in Canada, I switched my career to the immigration firm, because I have seen there are my good friends, my family members, my followers who really wanted to get a right information and wanted to make the immigration and their life simple. And I, being a immigration consultant, how I wanted to get treated when I was in that stage, the same way I wanted to get treated now to all my clients, which I call as a CAN family, which you are.
So one of the major rumors I just went across the social media is that Canada is mainly looking just for high skilled workers. What do you think about that, Vishnu? Is it a cap or is it a fact?
Somewhat cap, somewhat reality. But again, it's not about the high skilled worker. Every nation or every country, if you look into, there are certain occupations, there are certain demand jobs are there. So for example, in India, if you are looking into, they go behind civil service. Everyone's aim is to get a government job, because now in India, there's no free medicals, there's no free education. So people believe that, okay, by getting a government job, their family is safe and they will make a good money. But however, when we look into outside India now, for example, now we take Canada or we take US, now there is more about the IT sector. So US is known for their IT. Same like that, if you are looking specifically to Canada, Canada is known for their IT. Canada wanted more healthcare workers, skilled workers, agriculture, because these three are the sector which is gonna be supporting this whole migration. So if someone asking me what kind of study or what kind of job the person look, take that as per your profession, but as well as the country which you wanted to get migrate, because you are eventually get settled there based upon what country needs. Because for example, if someone looking for just like say that government job in Canada, yeah, it is possible. You can go in policing, you can go under as a CBSA officer, you can go into other sectors too, but it's not that common. Whereas getting work into like a registered nurse, PSW, skilled worker, IT professional, like many of the individuals who are even switching their careers to IT, or IT people are switching their career to accounting and healthcare. It's very common in Canada, and Canada support that.
Okay, so you think it's skill over education or education over skill in Canada?
Skill over education. If you look into any of a supervisor, manager, or even directors LinkedIn profile, you don't see too high kind of education like masters and PhD. They might have high school, they might have degree. Some people may have a master's, but in Canada, it's all about the experience. Even being an employer, if someone comes to me and the person have 7 years of experience in the skills which I'm looking into, I give more weightage to that rather than hiring a master's who don't have an experience. And that's how Canada works.
Okay. All right. So let's say, so it's not a cap nor like a fact, but it depends on different situations and everything. All right, Vishnu. So one of the questions we have from one of our followers on Instagram was, they have their parents coming for on a super visa like to Canada. And right now there's a big news that came out that all the people who are going to visit, and even for students as well, they're going to have them in an asylum status where they're going to hold them up until a couple of period of time, and then they're going to let them out. What do you think about that? Is it like a true factor, or is it like just a made up story?
So let me tell you this thing honestly, it is always there. So if someone newly landing in Canada, the CBSA officer has to verify their background, the purpose of visit, their reason to go back and everything before the person enter in Canada. Because once the CBSA officer give you a status, anyone, if it is not properly verified, the person can come and now seek asylum or do other things for which the person is not intended when applied for the application. Many migrating provinces in India use visitor visa to get entered in Canada, and after that they look for LMI, they try to get married to some PR or citizen, they pay for that, or sometimes they just go and seek the asylum like refugee. But to control that, it's been from years, but now how it came to a limelight is there is a group of people who landed recently in Manitoba as well as in Toronto, but those people came here on visitor visa, but they don't even speak English. So I believe the miscommunication or the documents what they have submitted, something doesn't match.
Okay.
And as soon as it doesn't match, the CBSA officer do have an authority to hold them in asylum and make them go back, because again, they violated the regulation of migration to Canada. If someone wanted to come to Canada on visiting, the intention need to be very pure that, okay, I'm visiting this place, I'm visiting this person, I'm going back, straightforward. This incident was happening from last 2-3 years when from a particular part of India, do forge IELTS. They get 7.58.
Oh.
But as soon as they land in Canada and they go for the interview, the person cannot even speak a word in English.
Got it.
Now the CBSA officer do have authority to save Canadians that, okay, this person who said that, okay, he have a score of CLB 8, CLB 9, if he cannot even utter a word in English, that's something now that person is doing illegal. And definitely, no government, even in India, if you're looking into, no one is going to allow a person who is forging a document or who is hiding the facts.
Got it.
So if you are genuine, your parents are coming here, they are genuine here, if they don't speak English, very common, that's not a big deal, give a letter in their hand that, what they're coming for. So when we do a visitor visa application for parents, technically we put an invitation letter which explains that, when the person is coming, when the person is going to live, where the person is going to stay, if there is something, which number the CBSE officer or the CIC officer can contact them. So that gives a clear letter which even the parents can able to show that to the CBSE officer if they don't speak English.
Got it.
But keep in mind, if someone is entering Canada hoping that their agent told that enter in Canada on visitor visa, then you can get work permit, you can get PR, some illegal ways, you need to be very careful, because Canada really know that these kind of tricks are going on, and many ghost consultants and non-licensed immigration people are trying to boost this, and they will hold them. And this is because of that particular news which came recently.
All right, a follow-up question to that is, a lot of people, like I've heard people say that, back home, like my friends, family and all, they would be like, I cannot come to Canada if I don't know good English. Is it like a true fact, or is it like just a cap?
No, it's a full cap. So now the point is, if someone say that, they want to come to Canada, the first thing we need to ask is what status? The person wanted to visit, the person do not even need to know English. Because again, he's not coming here to prove his English proficiency, he's just coming here to visit. But at the same time, if the person is coming here for the study, overall 6.5 and individual 6 is compulsory. At the same time, the person is getting an LMI, and that is for the manager level. You are entering, you need to know minimum communication skill of English, because now when you say you are getting an LMI as a manager and you don't even have a basic English understanding, CBSE officer can hold you and make you go back, because once again, that particular knock title need communication. At the same time, if someone is coming just to pick the fruits, farm jobs, you don't need even any kind of English proficiency. Without that also you can apply. When you talk to CBSE officer, try not to get panic and be honest. If you are not so fluent in English, you can always ask them for a translator.
Okay.
But try to go in a group and try not to get aggressive, which I have witnessed. Last time when I went to the airport, Toronto airport, I have seen that there was one couple who was there who started to argue with the CBSE officer when they were asking just simple question. So this shows that couple was trying to hide something, and now as soon as the CBSE know that, they just put them on asylum, they just put that on hold, and they do more interrogations.
Got it.
But if you're calm, quiet, put genuine document, no one need to worry.
Okay, that's pretty good news. What are, like, as an immigration consultant, give us, like, to the viewers at least, give us 3 things that we need to make sure before we land in Canada, like to ensure that we get inside Canada.
Passport valid, your visa status, you're coming on visiting visa, you need to know proper name of the town or name of the family member you're visiting, their phone number, their email ID, their location, just to convey that to the CBSE officer. If you're coming on study, you should know about the college name, which college you are studying, what course you are studying, and the background of that course. Because this is whole thing you have submitted during the application, they just wanted to get it verified.
Got it. Okay. All right, to another crazy rumor that I've been hearing right now is, if your spouse gets banned to Canada, they've told that, there's chances that it can even affect your own PR. Is it true, or is it like a fact, or is it just a cap?
It is 100% true.
Okay.
So now, how the things goes is, if one person is a PR or a citizen in Canada, the person have a charter of rights, where I am being a PR or citizen, I want my spouse to be with me because that completes my family. He can go under the humanitarian compassion ground application and can fight for it to get the ban removed and get the spouse here. Yes, it is true news that if one person is get banned, or one person gets some kind of criminal charges or anything, that can influence the PR application as a family, or even if the person just applying for unaccompanied spouse PR, excluding the person who have a charges, still that person application will be scrutinized, because for PR application, your entire family background is gonna check.
Okay. So can you give us a couple of ways how a person can get banned from like the whole of immigration part of it?
So anything which is illegal, just simple. Always follow an ethics. The most common way to get banned is forging the document. Second is hiding the fact. For example, a person who had a visa refusal in US, while putting a study permit, is saying that no, he never had a visa refusal. Now, CIC find that, they can put a ban on it.
Okay.
Third, financial inadmissibility. So there are inadmissibility criteria out there where it comes on finance, health. There is a criminal. There is if you have certain kind of link with the terrorist groups.
Oh, got it.
So when the client comes for me for the refugee, we also do the background check because that can directly able to put a inadmissibility criteria, and if we do not disclose that, that may lead to a ban for 5 years under the IRP.
You said about criminal records. If I've committed something like a criminal and I have a criminal record in Canada, will that affect my PR?
Oh, 102%. So just common thing, drink and drive.
Okay.
Is a federal offense. If anyone has a charges of theft of more than 5,000, federal offense.
Okay.
If the person have assault, domestic violence, these are all the criminal offenses. If you did a financial fraud, that's also come under criminality. This all can lead you to not apply for any application, even a simple visitor record. You cannot able to apply because when they CIC process the application, they will find you guilty and they make you a removal order.
And is there any way out as an individual?
Always. So legal thing. So again, yeah, we can go in the legal way. We can put all the justification. We can put a court order. We can put probationary notes. Everything. We can just need to convince it that okay, whatever happened, that happened. But again, the person already took the sentences and everything is clear on him to get through. But it's a long process. Without the charges, the person can get PR in 3 months through express entry. Through this process, if the person have a charges, it can go 1 year, 1.5 years.
Okay, all right. I've been talking to a lot of my friends. When we tell them to create an express entry profile, they're like, "Bro, I need to get a job first." Is that a fact or is it like a cap?
Okay, depends upon the profile to profile. Now, I would say so. If a person do have a job from India, so let me just put a simple profile in front of you. So, for example, individual, we can call this person A, do have a degree from India, 3 years of experience under NOC OAB, having a CLB 9. Okay, came here for 1 year study. As soon as the person complete the study, if the person create a profile, the person is sitting around 470 to 480 range. He don't even need to have an experience to create the profile because automatically that person A is qualified under FSW, Federal Skilled Worker Stream. If his job come under the category based express entry draw, he's qualified under the NOC specific or STEM category. If his NOC title come under the human capital priority stream, then he's automatically qualified under PNP2. So you don't even need to have a job in Canada in that scenario. Okay. We have a lot of approvals, and right now the 14 applications right now running for the nurses group came from the UAE right now. They are studying in Conestoga. They are doing a second year program, but they have received their invitation in the month of February, the human capital, when the draw was around 350 something. So they are a student, but they have an experience. Their age was 35, 37 around, but we created a profile. They were sitting around 380 to 420 points. And again, the human capital draw came. They got an invitation. Now they are waiting for a 600 points.
So I believe having a foreign experience is a vital factor in this.
Definitely.
Okay, let's say if one of our an individual, right, working as a teacher and as well as studying for masters in the same college, will that experience be counted for them?
Inside Canada or outside Canada?
Outside Canada.
Okay, so if it's outside Canada, if it's your citizen-based country, so there is no regulation which is stopping you to work. However, when we create an express entry profile, you can able to add that experience even if you worked part-time. But unfortunately, when we create a work history profile, there is one question. It says that, are you studying during this period of work? And right now, as per the new regulation, where it says that even someone studied in Canada for continuous job for 1,560 hours, the person will claim for FSW, but still that particular express entry is not get updated at this point, which means yes, as of now you can, but the express entry profile need to be updated to get the point claimed. As of now, even if you mention it, yes, you are studying, unfortunately the person is not getting a point as of today. It can change in the future for sure, but as of now, if you are studying and you're working, you can only claim any one of it.
So Vishnu, I was going across one of these articles which mentioned that Canada is opening up PR pathways for individuals who are there on illegal status. Like I believe right now there's like almost 300,000 to 600,000 according to statistics. Is it a fact or is it like a cap?
It is a fact. So, like every country has certain internal issue economically, migration wise. So they try to overcome that. So right now, the Canada facing a huge issue related to this illegal immigrants who are in Canada, who may apply for a refugee, who are waiting to get a decision, who got a refugee status revoked, or who got a negative decision and they need to go back, but they go blackout. So they just go off screen, off social media, off everything, and they still stay in Canada, but they cannot able to travel because, again, if they travel, they cannot able to come back. So what Canada is trying to do at this point, from the understanding of the reading that article, which I understood, is they wanted to give a chance to the illegal status refugee, or like I would say illegal status individuals, to get a PR in Canada and work in a legal way so that they can also contribute to the Canadian economy and get a status in Canada rather than working under the table. So to decrease the number of these kind of undocumented individuals, now Canada wanted to offer them a path that, okay, if they have a good supportive employer, they are working in Canada, they stayed in Canada, they do have a strong tie-up with Canada, or they have a group of 5 sponsorship, like it's a community is ready to sponsor them and make them live in Canada, then the CIC is looking to give them a path so that they can achieve a legal status rather than staying in Canada on illegal status, which is again as per the under the humanitarian grounds, which is not right. So it's just a positive way, I believe. The CIC is trying to help those individuals.
So what happens to a student if they if they're planning to complete a course but they did not, and now they're out of their study permit status? So what happens to them right now? Do they move out? What do they do next?
Please don't do that. Remember one thing, you are in very young age. So when I say about the undocumented individuals, refugees, or the individuals who are living in Canada on illegal status, technically they might be from a country where they cannot be able to go back now because there is no one or certain country situation which is not allowing them to go there, and unfortunately they are born to live here because they don't have any other way.
Got it.
But when I'm talking about international students, you have a family, you have a friends, you have a good social economic status back home where you go and they will accept you. If a student gets failed, if you don't want to study, look for an employer who can support for LMI, which again, personally, I'd never recommend. If you study for 1 to 2 years, there are hundreds of ways to get the PR if you have a proper knowledge. But if you go and depend upon an employer, if employer had some situation and he let you go, you are done. If a person is there who now came for study and unfortunately he went out of status, my sincere request would be go back home and apply for a new study permit, or if you are under the 90 days of the restoration, you can again restore back on a study status. Please stay away from the ghost consultant, those immigration firms which are boosting to get your LMI, because trust me, I know hundreds of international students who fall under this false assurance that, okay, you don't need to study, I will get you an LMI, and they go out of status from the study waiting for the LMI, and after 6 months they come to know that the person got a refusal on LMI, or the person did not even submitted the LMI application. Please, your life is with you. Your parents have a lot of expectations from you. Do what you came for here. While on work permit, work full time, and then you apply for a PR through a right path.
Got it. All right. I think we are almost the end, but there's this one big rumor that is, I don't know if it's a rumor or if it's a fact or is it a cap, but Canada is having a huge amount of backlogs in the immigration. When we were comparing to like almost June 2024, they had almost 2.23 million applications as on a backlog. Do you think that can affect people's status in Canada?
So I'm doing the research on the Canadian economy, Canadian immigration, Canadians like country in general, that how the immigration flows. And from my research, what I always understood is every day Canada is receiving thousands of applications. So that 2.2 million what we are seeing, that is a mix of temporary resident application which include visitor visa. Each and every individual who you know might have submitted one visitor visa application.
Yeah.
Think about how hundred of people we know personally. Second is the PR application, sponsorship application, refugee application, study permit. So there are numerous pathways are there for Canada to come and just try to get an application done. So 2.2 million is, yes, it's a big number when we see just as an individual. But when we are looking as a country, it's 2.2 million accumulate permanent residency, temporary residency, and refugee, in which majority of time the application processing time consider this 2.2 million backlog, and then only the CIC published that, okay, for this particular application is going to take this much time. So for example, if we are looking into 1 year back on postgrad open work permit, the work permit used to get approved in 4 to 5 months. When we compare that with the last 6 months, from January till May, if someone applied for postgrad open work permit, the student might have received the postgrad open work permit in less than 1 month. But now again, from this intake onwards, what I'm seeing is, once the postgrad work permit is applied, again it's taking around 5 to 6 months. So CIC do plan and the process time, that's why it's keep on changing based upon the number of backlog. But let me tell you one good news, that on the visitor visa application, CIC started to use an AI.
Okay.
So when we are getting the GCMS note, there is a evidence that, okay, it is processed by AI. That is helping the CIC to decrease the backlog. Yes, it has some negative that the documents are not getting verified properly. But yes, that is one of the way how CIC is trying to overcome this huge backlog. When I'm considering for PR application, I would say still the processing time is very much in the time limit of 3 to 5 months if it is within Canada. If it is outside Canada, 4 to 6 months, which is very common.
Got it. I hear a lot about, it's the AI rejection all over the internet. Like, what is this AI rejection?
So yes, I also noticed that from a couple of years when we order the GCMS note for any of the refusals, especially I'm seeing this particular thing with a temporary resident like visitor visa, super visa, and study visa. It's common where it says that, okay, Chinook is there, which is assisted the CIC officer to get the process analyzed. But once again, if you see that you submitted a document and the refusal letter says that, okay, no, on that particular ground, it was refused, you have the way that you can able to you can apply for the reappeal or reconsideration of application, which is very, very common. But in other case, if they have a very strong guard, so that's why I always say try to apply for the GCMS note if a person get a refusal. Because in the refusal letter, you will only see 2-3 lines which can be copy pasted. So if you order the GCMS note, that will give you a brief understanding about what is the exact document which they verified, what are the real reason for the refusal. And if you think that no, you have already submitted a proper documents to overcome this particular refusal, you can able to reapply or reconsider. We have numerous applications which we did and we have a positive results.
All right, what about people who are on the verge of their work permit extension, They're waiting for the whole application to process, but because of this backlog and the delay, next option is to either leave the country or to just go to another place or look for other alternative options. What do you say? What do you want to say about to those people?
So first of all, most important thing is planning. Not just for the immigration side, it's for your life. When you start something, you need to know where it's gonna end. So for example, when you take admission in any of the college for any of the particular course, you have a plan that day one, you know that, okay, this is the internal, this is the external, this is much is for project, this is the final exam, this is the midterm. Every international student who follow that whole plan definitely get succeeded in the course. Same way in immigration, what I notice is, usually the student come in Canada, study for 2 years, get a 3-year work permit. They even start to look for an immigration or doing the profile evaluation on 2nd or 3rd year of their work permit. And that is a major reason why they go out of status or they started to get stressful situation that their work permit expiring. But let me tell you honestly, if someone's work permit is about to expire, at least if you have 6 to 8 months, try to do a proper legal consultation. Again, stay away from those individuals who say the only way is LMI or only way is to change the province, only way is to pay someone and get a RNIP or AIP. Look into other options where you can even go to your back home and you can try to get something under the STEM category, 6 months of experience. You can work 1 year under the skilled worker. So again, yeah, it's not something, it's the only option I'm saying, but that option can also be considered to get a PR within your work permit time. Okay. But if someone's work permit is expiring, just one recommendation to you. Please look into, take a second opinion from okay, you might be with some immigration firm. Take one more advice from some other immigration firm who you can trust and who you think that, okay, the person can help you. Because if you get a proper evaluation done, and if you know that, okay, through this way you can get a PR, that can definitely relieve your stress.
So I heard this one thing that, like IELTS was made for UK immigration and CELPIP is made for like Canadian immigration. Is it a cap or is it like a fact?
Okay, so I believe it's real with some cap on it. So now the point is, when we are looking into Canadian immigration, the immigration need English proficiency. So English proficiency means you can do IELTS, you can do CELPIP, you can do PT as of today. Canada says that you can do any one of it among these three and get a score and you are qualified for PR. Now, when we are looking to IELTS, it's either British or it's either Australian. So most of the international students which I was also personally be like you guys. So notice that the accent is Australian or British. Little bit difficult to grasp that. Also, the marking scheme is out of 9. So even if 4 or 6 get, you directly come to CLB 8, CLB 9. The probability of error can just decrease your points. At the same time, when you're looking into CELPIP, it's more like how we are talking. If you look into the listening part of the CELPIP, it's plain English, like Canadian English, or I would say Indian English, where there is no accent like that. Easy to grasp, easy to understand. Same time, the CELPIP, one more positive thing which I notice is, it's out of 12. So even if you do 6 to 8 mistakes, you still be on CLB 9. More than that, it took you down. So if you make more errors, still you have a higher probability of getting a higher CLB.
Got it.
So I personally recommend everyone to try for CELPIP, or if someone know about TOEFL, then do PT. Because TOEFL and PT is like the same.
Similar.
But CELPIP is way more easier compared to IELTS. It's just my personal opinion. But if someone is already sitting around CLB 8 kind of thing in IELTS, 2.5 is not there. I would say just work hard on IELTS because it's way more simple than learning a new skill in CELPIP.
Got it. All right. As an immigration consultant, Vishnu, what is, according to your statistics and what are you looking up to, what do you think is the next trend of immigration?
Canada need immigrants. That's a simple word which I can tell you. Even if the conservative comes or even the current federal government remain there, I'm not a political expert, so I'm not commenting on that. But in any of the case, Canada needs skilled healthcare, those people who can speak French, agriculture, and IT sector. And like you see, most of the immigration flows around this particular sectors only. So if you are one of that, you don't need to worry. If you are working under white collar job, just like many international students tell me that, okay, no, we are not falling under this 5 sector, we have a white collar job. What we can do? Improve your English. First thing. Second, convince your employer to support you for LMI or PNP. So if you are a good employee, your employer can definitely able to support you in different ways. But the point is, by working there, if you feel that no, I'm not getting a PR, you lack your performance, and that may lead to somewhere that you need to move to some McDonald's or you need to move to some Tim Horton and you compromise your profile. So again, look into education is everything in Canada or in life. If you have a proper knowledge, proper education, proper guidance, I would say no one ever failed in the life. Same thing in immigration. If you have these 3 things.
Whew, that's a whole lot of immigration facts and knowledge. Thank you, Vishnu, for this great time. If you have anyone who's going through these similar situations or could find this relatable, please do share this content to them. Please share this video so that they will have access. They will know, they could plan their future. They could know what is the next step and work accordingly as well.
Like, comment, and subscribe. I just got this from a YouTube. So, but again, I really want that all the Cal family member, your supports make us strong each and every day. And I really want that everyone who is a part of us through a following in social media or as a client should be happy, and hope this kind of informative video get you the happiness, decrease your stress, and you will be a PR soon.
Perfect. Guys, like and subscribe. And please do subscribe, otherwise I'm going to tell IRCC about your fake certificate. Alright. Have a good day and thank you for joining. Bye-bye.
Take care.